Welcome to this week's Rogers McKee YouTube video. In this week's episode, we're going to be going through the 3 KPIs all recruitment business owners should keep an eye on. Let's go! Welcome to this week's Rogers McKee YouTube video. So in this week's episode, I'm going to be discussing the 3 KPIs that I think all recruitment business owners and team leaders, divisional managers should keep an eye on if they want to see success, the growth of the team, and build a successful division or business. So what are the things that you look out for? It's got to be tangible and it's got to be something that's going to help you drive the business forward. And the 3 things that I think that you need to be looking at will all help with this and give you some direction moving forward. So the first one for me is the average customer value. So over a 12-month period, which is how we look at it, what is the value of each customer to you? How much on average does every customer spend with you over the course of the year? So with ourselves, we set our budgets from January to December, and we'll look at what we want to build over the next year, and obviously what we've built over the year just gone, and divide that by the number of the clients that we've worked with. That'll give us the average customer value. So we know on average, for argument's sake, if we build as a business £100,000 this year in net fee income, and we've got 10 clients, every client that we have placed with on average has spent £10,000 with us. They're pretty crude numbers those, but it gives you an idea. And the reason that we look at that is because, especially if you're looking at it on an annual basis, you can see the trend. So do you have multiple strings to your bow as a business? Do you have multiple divisions that could all be selling to the same client? If so, that's a way of noticing whether that's being successful, because is the average spend going up per customer? Is it falling down? So are some of the team or some of the divisions within the business not selling to your existing client base? Gives you an idea on what's going on in terms of how loyal the customers are being with yourselves as well. The KPI number 2, and this is an important one, again, in terms of your team and or your business and making sure it's moving in the right direction, is net fee income per head. And I say quite specifically there per head as opposed to per consultant, because if you've got a team that's got admin staff in, or a business that's got admin staff and non-fee generating staff, they need to be taken into account. There's still an overhead within the business. They're still taking a wage out of the business each month, and they need to, and ultimately they're probably taking time or jobs away from the consultants, which frees up their time to bill more money. So their headcount needs to be included in that. And ultimately, everybody in every sector will have their own target on what they feel is a good net fee income per consultant or per person, within the business. But you need to set a benchmark figure, and that's the figure that you need to be working towards. And ultimately, it'll be, if we hit this figure, we're doing well. If we don't hit this figure, we're not doing well. But again, in terms of your management team, or if you are a manager, you then know what you need to be delivering each month in order to be successful. It bounds you into a target that you can be accountable for. And ultimately, as a business owner, you're there to make money, you're there to make a profit. If that figure drops too low, you're not going to be making a profit, you're not going to be around to monitor anything for very long. So net fee income per head is the second one that I feel all business owners should monitor. And like I say, that'll give you an idea of how profitable you're being. And the third one that we look at is the retention, is the client retention percentage. And again, you can look at this, we look at this on a monthly basis. So every month that we have our wrap up, we will discuss the retention rate from the month before. So with regards to clients that we traded with last month, and how many we've traded with this month, and how many we've lost, what is that percentage? And obviously we try and keep the retention rate as high as possible. It also focuses the minds. So if we place a permanent candidate with a client, and the chances are that client's not going to be retained in the following month, we've then got the following month for the temp teams to then speak to that client, build the relationships off the back of the perm placement, and try and then get out with them on a temp basis and keep them as a client and keep that retention high. Because I think there's a study that says once somebody buys from you 4 times, it becomes a habit, and they become quite a loyal customer. It's one of the reasons that the supermarkets are so successful and the supermarket model successful. You go to the supermarket every week, and if I was to challenge you guys now in terms of the supermarkets that you use, I would imagine it's the same supermarket every single week. And the reason for that is quite simple. You've got into a habit of going to that supermarket, the habit's formed, you've used them more than 4 times, and every single week now it's just a constant, well, this is where we go and do our weekly big shop. So you need to form those habits from your clients, and in order to do that, they need to be transacting with you 4 or more times in a short space of time. So once we've got the permanent placement, it's then about how can we get them to transact with us again quickly. Now, the other key part of this is if you fuse those KPIs together, so again, just to timestamp this, we're in December 2023, well, filming it in November 2023. This will probably drop on the channel in December 2023. So you're going to be looking now at your budgets for 2024. There'll probably be a headline figure that you want to achieve as a business owner in terms of net fee income. And it may well be that you say, well, we're going to have 20 heads next year and we want everybody to do £10,000 net fee income, and you can work your budgets out that way. It might be that you just sit down with the management team and say, right, what are each of your teams going to deliver, and that's the headline figure. But for argument's sake, the benefit of these KPIs are such that you can use these to say, right, well, this is the headline figure, it's £1 million net fee income that we want to achieve in 2024. How are we going to achieve that? Well, our average client value is X, so you can work out from that. If you divide your top line figure of your total net fee income that you want to make and divide that by the average client value, that'll give you the amount of clients that you need to trade with over the course of the year. If you actually look at your retention on an average basis over the months, and you can work out what your retention is, or even if you look at your retention from 2022 to 2023 and throw that forward into 2024, you can then work out how many clients that you've traded with this year you're going to retain. So again, for argument's sake, let's just say you've traded with 100 clients this year and you've retained 73% of your clients from 2022 into 2023. There would be an argument then to say that's going to be the same next year, so we're going to retain 73% of our clients because that's our retention rate. So we're going to trade with, of the 100 that we've traded with this year, we're going to trade with 73 next year. And again, you know what the number of clients that you need to trade with over the course of the year, so then that gives you an idea of, right, we need X number of new clients in the next 12 months in order to hit this figure. So it gives you some focus over the number of clients that you're going to need over the year. The retention will give you the focus over the number of new clients that you're going to need to secure, and obviously there are some variables in that. So if it's looking like you're going to need too many new clients, then you need to tweak the retention, you need to get all the staff focusing on that, or you need to tweak the average customer value, and you need to get all divisions selling to all of your clients. However, if you put them all together, if you fuse them all together, it then gives you a workable plan heading into 2024 that gives you a lot more confidence that that top line figure that you want to achieve will actually be hit. So, a bit of a recap, the 3 KPIs that I think a business owner in recruitment should be monitoring: average customer value, net fee income per head, and like I say, make sure that you include all the non-billing staff in that as well, and also your client retention. If you do that and you're on top of the numbers, then you've got every chance of having a successful 2024. And let's be honest, that's what we all want. I'm sure you guys out there want that too. And as they say, what doesn't get measured can't, or what doesn't get monitored can't be mastered, or measured can't be mastered. Choose whichever word you want. If you're measuring it, you can master it, you can improve it, and you'll make sure that you have a great year. So, hope you've enjoyed that video. If you can leave any comments, if there's any KPIs that you think as a business owner or a leader within the industry you should be monitoring, I'm happy to have a look at those. And moreover, if you can subscribe to the channel, as a channel we're trying to reach more people. The YouTube algorithms love subscribers, so if you could subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified every time a new video drops. and I look forward to seeing you at the same time next week.